Right, Liam live and in the mix. Boots Stanionis ring walks are upon us. Here we go.
Here we go indeed, mate. The biggest fight at 147 since Spence and Crawford unified back in
Yeah, correct.
2023. It's just. And what does that say about the welterweight division? That's a debate for another time. For right now, let's enjoy the fact that we have this fight. Stanionis, the WBA champion, Boots, the de facto number one in the division, you could say, more off of what people believe he's
Ring
going to be.
magazine on the line tonight, mate, as well.
Yeah, exactly, mate. And Ring Magazine, Ring Magazine's controlled by Turkey now, so Turkey puts it on what he deems to be the best fights in the division. So, yeah, look, I'm intrigued. Stanionis, look at his team in his changing room there. It's a skeleton team he's brought over with him. There's only 4 or 5 of them in there. You'll see the Boots dressing room in a minute. There's about 30 geezers in there. And those pink gloves that Pat mentioned to us earlier are on and looking good.
Pat will be loving that.
No, mate, I'm intrigued, mate. I'm intrigued to see what's going to happen. I'd love to see Boots make a statement here, but with how he's been lately, just not sure.
Yeah, man, I'm interested either way. Big up to Dave at Roper Oak for being locked in with us. Good morning, you legend yourself. Stick with you till, I hope that means final bell, not first bell, but we'll see. Humble Apple Crumble in the house as well. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Yes, big fight feel in Atlantic City. Looks pretty well sold as well.
Yeah, the only thing that got me through the bar shift was that other 40th party I was working tonight, knowing I was coming home for some fights. Literally, when it started to drag, I just thought, get in, fights are on. And as I was saying, I've been chatting to Dave during the Ray Ford fight. We've got the UFC that we're looking forward to getting stuck into after this as well.
Yeah, plenty of combat on at the 3:31 in the morning. But yeah, all roads to Atlantic City for now. What is Diamante doing? This is a long intro.
They've just done Lithuanian, they're now doing the American.
Oh, I see.
So they're doing the anthems before.
They love it, don't they? They absolutely love it.
That's the interesting hat that Susan Christine's wearing. Really Jay for the fashion tips. Unfortunately, he's not with us at the moment. Dear. Can't say the Americans don't love a bit of pomp and ceremony.
Oh man, they're all there for it, aren't they? All there for it. But look, we'll let them off. Big fight tonight. Yeah, Ray Ford doing Ray Ford. I think, mate, fair to say, wasn't it?
Yeah, look, I just said to you this before we came on. He started so fast that I thought, oh, we might get a stoppage here, and that would have been, perfect. We would have got a 3 a.m. main event here. But after the first couple of rounds, I think once he knew that he was in control and Mateus didn't really have anything for him, he was just happy coasting. I mean, the CompuBox stats show that Mateus only landed 24 punches across 10 rounds. I mean, that tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah, that's quite damning, isn't it? Can't stand it, man. Humble Apple Crumble says. Dave says, what did you guys make of Ford's? Errol Spence tight hair as well. Yeah, Errol Spence. Wonder if Errol Spence will ever fight again.
It made me double take, that's for sure.
Oh dear. Yeah, Stanionis has impressed me all week. Just how he's carried himself, how he's looked. He's incredibly hungry. He's moaning about inactivity. Obviously, hasn't been out as often as he would have liked to be. So this is, I don't know if it's true. I actually read that he's getting paid more than Boots. So essentially, Boots has sacrificed his purse to get the fight. I've seen that happen before in boxing. Obviously, the most famous example of it's probably AJ and Charles Martin. But I don't know. Yeah, I like Dalton. He's great to watch. I'm not too sure on his run of opposition, but I get it. He's mandatory for Puello, isn't he? So look, I get it.
On a side note, Dominic Reyes has just landed a fantastic KO.
Wow, he's back.
He's back. It was one punch and done.
Ooh, that's 3 in a row for him after being in obscurity, shall we say?
Sorry, mate. I was just having a scroll whilst we were.
No, you're all right. I'll have a look myself. Here we go. Then Stanionis is about to be introduced.
Diamante giving it lemons in Atlantic City. He loves it, doesn't he?
He sure does.
Broken his back twice. Yeah, look, Stanionis has impressed me as well. Bearing in mind he was late getting into America after missing his flight at the start of the week, that could be enough to derail some fighters, couldn't it? But from what we've seen so far, he's stuck to his task. Let's see what he does in the ring. You can look as good as you like outside of the ring, but it's what he does for the next 36 minutes that's going to really matter.
Correct. The question on everyone's mind, Dave.
In the shadows, Dave, in the shadows.
We're doing that for the last 15 years.
It's where he's actually in the casino winning about 5 million while Stanionis. Wasting no time, Stanionis. Straight
good. Good. Stanionis just coming. That's what we like to see. Always have more respect for a fighter when they don't milk the ring walk. Saying that, Stanionis, look how confident he looks, man.
To be fair, Boots is going to have a couple of rappers and a 10-minute walk. So.
Oh yeah, Boots will be there all night. Yeah, very, very impressed with Stanionis' demeanour.
He's got nothing to fear. He's had nothing to fear all week. And he's got nothing to lose from this. He can only enhance his reputation.
Okay, he hasn't fought since, for about a year then. 1 year out of the... yeah, that's it, Dave. Mario, big up to yourself. Hope you're well. Stanionis is in the ring now. Boots is about to come down. So, you're looking at probably the next 10 minutes, I would say. Ramon, unfortunately, thanks for joining us, my friend, over on Twitch. Do appreciate it, but we're not allowed to show the fight, unfortunately, just due to copyright reasons. So we just kind of, for anyone who's unable to watch, we don't commentate because we understand that that's not something that we're skilled enough to do, but we just kind of talk about the fight.
Speak for yourself, mate.
Yeah, apologies, Liam. Done Liam out there. I'm saying a week to these fanboys that Boots isn't going to finish Stanionis. Yeah, I've seen you in the comments on the videos, Mario. Thanks for all the interaction all week. I've seen you. I'm with you, though, as well. I'd be surprised myself. No, don't be sorry, Ramon. Don't be sorry at all. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate it.
Getting a stoppage would be highly impressive. That's the reality. I mean, look at his ring walk. He's still in the corridor, tapping hands with Brian Peters and everyone else.
Yeah, I see. Massive entourage, unlike Stanionis, as you said. Ring Magazine belt. Yeah, agreed, Dave. 100%. But yeah, look, I think Boots will win as well, Mario. But I agree with what you're kind of saying about, I don't think he'll just walk through Stanionis in a few rounds or whatever it may be. Yes, you too, Mario. Hope you're well. Antonio's in the building. Hope you're well, Antonio. We've got UFC 314 taking place simultaneously. Obviously, with us primarily being a boxing-based channel, Boots Stanionis has to take a bit of priority for now, but we will be coming over to Miami as soon as the final bell finishes here.
If we can tell Boots to hurry up so we can make the paddy.
Yeah, Boots can get on with it. Yeah, maybe we'll. Maybe the main event in Miami will be finishing just as Boots gets into the ring.
It's nothing new with Boots though. He's always giving it the big up and always, I got it in Philly when it was his homecoming. I don't get it here. Boxers do what they want. It's about the marketing, but it shows up now. I mean, it was 10 minutes. Well, we've been live for 10 minutes, and we're still waiting for Boots to even emerge.
I know, definitely. Mario, thank you very much for the donation to the channel, my friend. That's very much appreciated. Don't get too many of those, so very kind of you. Thanks for tuning in and joining us. Top man. Appreciate it, Mario.
Thank you very much.
Coming in, Ling.
Here he is. Again, his exuberant ring outfits that we've seen since his move over to the Matchroom are continuing tonight. Left the Cookie Monster fluff behind. Oh, actually, no, there's a bit of fluff on there. Not as fuzzy as his one for I've been listening.
I have to say, Boots looks incredibly confident as well.
And he looks, as we said when we were doing our prediction, 12 hours ago, he looks a million times better than he did on the scales yesterday. He's filled out massively. He's probably closer to the light heavyweight limit right now than welterweight, to be honest.
Thank you, man. Yeah, sometimes, Mario, not all the time, but we try our best, Liam, don't we?
We try. Always gamble responsibly, as we always say.
Yeah, of course. But it's interesting to see, Mario, that you share that kind of where we're all kind of at that. Obviously, Jay not with us right now, Liam, but me and you picked Boots in a narrow win tonight, haven't we? And Mario's kind of echoed that where we're at as well. But look, a lot of people, and Mario's saying that because I don't know if you saw the videos on my prediction video I dropped in the week. But, Mario's been commenting and having some interaction with a lot of people that have commented saying Boots is just going to run through Stanionis. So there is a bit of divide out there. It's not just a case of our Boots going to run through him or obviously agreeing with where me, you and Mario are at, where we think it'll be close, but Boots to win. So yeah, it's interesting.
Look, I would say it's not even just the casuals that are saying they expect Boots to win it. A lot of people within the boxing industry are saying they expect Boots to get a stoppage, which, as we've said all week, surprises me based off of how he's looked lately. I mean, look, him getting this done inside the first 3 rounds and blowing us away, that would be fantastic. But off the eye test of what we saw from Boots in 2024, you've got to be concerned because Stanionis looks a threat. Looks like he's going to be causing Boots trouble if Boots is at the level he's been at this year, which is, let's be honest, 1 or 2 runs below where we believe he should be.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I will be as well. If Boots gets like even if it's a late stoppage, but I mean, early would be very, very impressive. But even if he kind of just dominates him and breaks him down, stops him late, I think any form of a win inside the distance for Boots here, and I would stand up and take real notice. Shiloh, thanks for joining us over on Twitch. It's on DAZN, the fight is. So if you've got DAZN, it's DAZN worldwide, I think, Liam, as well. So whether you're in the States or the UK like us or any other region, I believe it's a worldwide DAZN broadcast, this one.
I think what would impress me, an early stoppage would impress me, but if it gets to the point where Boots breaks him down that much that Stanionis is pulled out on his stall, one of those where the corner say that's enough, that would be impressive as well if he's able to put some sort of beating on Stanionis. But again, we're talking about something we're not expecting to see here.
Yeah.
Right, here we go. Diamante's done his 4 corners of the world to the 4 corners of the world. It's on to the introductions.
The fight starts now. No, he didn't, Mario. Look, I know they were talking about it on the broadcast earlier, but we spoke about it at length this week about, obviously, that we watched the Chikadzian rematch live, and the 3 of us were underwhelmed, to say the least, about that. But even against Avanesyan, he didn't look the best. But Liam, there's an argument to say that the jeopardy maybe wasn't there in those fights for Boots. Maybe he wasn't switched on. Tonight's a big stage. It's unification. It's for the Ring Magazine belt. Maybe he's one of those guys that fights to what's in front of him as well, which is a possibility.
I hear the argument, but what I will say there is he was back at home in Philly, where he had sold out the Wells Fargo Arena, and that should have been enough pressure for him to make a statement. I mean, I feel harsh criticising the Avanesyan performance because the body shot that he finished Avanesyan with was a great finish. But the Jaron performance in November was, let's be honest, I think we all said on the stream we were regretting the fact it was 4:30 in the morning and we were watching it, which we, as we're proving now, 4:45 in the morning over here, we're always up for fights. But, I mean, look, Jaron Ennis' record up now, 33-0, 29 stoppages. He does get stoppages. I think Jaron was the first time in 4.5 years he hadn't stopped an opponent. So he is known for getting stoppages. So maybe, we talk about recency bias when we're bigging up fighters. Perhaps the recency bias of November is weighing a bit heavy on everyone with Boots.
Yeah, look, it's you only go off the data that you've seen, don't you? That's the big thing. You can only go off what you've seen in recent times, and that's what the pick of Boots being in a bit of a fight is coming off the back of.
That and how he looked on the scales yesterday. Look, last time we're going to say it because he looks how you expect him to look now, but he did not look the best on the scales yesterday. The photos of their face to face, he was very drawn.
Yeah.
Right, here we go. David Fields as the boxers in the centre of the ring. Final instructions. Stanionis does not look phased.
Yeah, he looks locked in.
It's not a big height advantage, but it's something that you'd expect Boots to use. Sorry, to get my tongue twisted today. You'd expect Boots to make the most of the fact he's got 2 or 3 inches on Stanionis.
Yeah. I'm very, very intrigued as to how this is going to go.
I'm going to score this just for...
Get it done, mate. Get it done.
Prosperity. I will caveat it by saying it is early hours in the morning if this is a Wales scorecard later. Here we go. We're on the way. Stanionis quick to take the centre of the ring.
Yeah.
Boots working around the ropes.
That's interesting.
But as we say, that Boots just picks him off with 2 very sharp jabs. And again, the jab of Boots Ennis inside the first 20 seconds looks incredibly sharp. To head and body. Yeah, to head and body. Stanionis yet to throw anything. I think Boots looks like he's found his range already. Stanionis looks like he's still trying to work out the style of Boots.
Stanionis just going to be there with his high guard, and he'll be there.
A Sergei Boychuk kind of performance. We said it during the week, didn't we? I know we're not just going with Boychuk because it's another Eastern European fighter, but everything just looks like it's going to be that sort of performance, doesn't it?
Yeah. Stanionis leaping in with a few decent left hooks there, Liam.
Missing by a mile.
Not sure the power's there on the Stanionis side is the thing, but he's so tough, he's durable.
I mentioned slight height advantage for Boots once I saw him facing off just then, but the way Stanionis sort of hunches himself over, it's even bigger. Boots fights really tall and true. Stanionis almost hunches himself over into a shell, doesn't he?
He does, yeah. It's been an interesting opening. Oh, good shot. Yeah, been an interesting couple of minutes.
Oh, so needed.
The speed of Boots is there to see, isn't it?
Yeah, and he's not going back in straight lines, which he was doing against both Jaron and Avanesi. He seems to be...
Still looks drawn, doesn't he, Boots, even after rehydrating?
Oh yeah, look at him across the back. What's impressed me here, though, is Boots seems to be locked in and found his range straight away. Stanionis still isn't 100% there. As he ties Boots up on the inside with just over 30 seconds left in round number 1. IBF, WBA and Vacant Ring Magazine titles up on 47 on the line here.
Yeah, I think as we approach the last sort of 15 seconds of the first round, that Boots will be quite pleased with his work in the first 3 minutes, Liam.
Sharp, effective, not wasting anything, looks on his movement, which is a big thing for him. If Boots' movement's on point, then you know he's going to be in his flow, if that makes sense.
There you go. Opener. Yeah, that's a 10-9 for Boots, isn't it?
It is. Look, it's only 3 minutes, and we know how quickly a fight can change, but that's what you wanted to see at the start of a fight from Boots Ennis.
Oh, 100%.
His movement on point. His jab sharp and pinging off. And yeah, like I say, not going back in straight lines, which is always a telltale sign of a fighter that relies on their movement and their angles so much. If they're not going back in straight lines, then you can all sort of tell that they're going to be slightly off in the night, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be interesting down the stretch. That's obviously where Stanionis will be wanting to take it, because if anything, Boots, switched off a little bit last time out. Obviously he dropped Karen in that fight early. Stanionis did land one of those left hooks. It was a good shot, actually, just looking at the replay.
And I mean, if Boots is drawn at the weight, then you'd expect him to tire down the stretch as well. So Stanionis needs to hang in there early on, but equally he needs to not take too much damage. Punch selection to head and body from Boots again at the start of round number 2 is impressive. Nice right hand though from Stanionis in return. Lots of body work from Boots, which is, again, always something you want to pay attention to, especially if this fight goes down into the championship rounds. Since we find it a home for that left hook to the body almost at will. And again, just as we said it, Stanionis actually reacted to that one, drew his hands down to his body. Don't think the Lithuanian is liking the body shots here.
Yeah, I think so, Ryan. Thanks for joining us, mate. Yeah, I think I've said all week it would, but that's where the impressiveness from Boots can come in. If Boots can get the stoppage, it would be, and even obviously if Stanionis does, it'd be a big upset. But on paper,
it's all about volume, mate. Boots is throwing in 3s and 4s. Stanionis is throwing in single shots. And
yeah,
if the 3s and 4s that Boots is throwing, he's landing
the majority. Yeah. Oh, Stanionis throwing back here. It's starting to heat up, Liam.
Yeah, but the body shot again. He doesn't like. He's look at him every time he takes.
Oh, beautiful counter left from Boots, Ennis. He definitely caught Stanionis there, Liam.
I like this. He's not rushing. It's only round 2. He doesn't need to look for a finish.
Yeah, it's measured, isn't it? Nice and measured.
It's calculated. It's kind of, it's the Boots we saw on the rise, isn't it?
All right, boxing nice here, Ennis. Stanionis is tough, though.
Yeah. Philly shell defense from the man from Philly as well. Just, he looks comfortable. Certain boxers have a swagger about them, don't they, when they feel like that they're in their zone in the ring. And look, we're in 3-2 rounds, but Boots is oozing that swagger at the moment. But fair play to Stanionis, because he did throw back in that round. He
did. It was a good round. Stanionis, had his fair share, but Boots Ennis looks good through 2.
Yeah. And as we always say, we call it as it is. We call it as we see it on both sides. And you've got to give Stanionis credit in that second round as well as Boots.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 2-0 to Boots, would you say?
Yeah, undoubtedly. Look, like I said, Stanionis had his moments, but they were in single shots. Boots was doing all his work in bunches and 3s and 4s and landing the majority of them. I'd be interested to see the punch stats, as they're already working on a little mouse underneath the right eye of Stanionis. I will say this: if Stanionis can connect with this looping hook that is only half connected so far, that could be where Boots is in trouble. So he carries his right hand very low, which is obviously a drawback of the Philly shell. And you just know if Stanionis can time it, you might finally see a chin test for Boots, might we?
Yeah, he definitely. What fight was it that he got stung in? I can't even remember. But I don't think he got stung by Karen, but he was getting hit with regularity against Karen, wasn't he?
Just going back in straight lines, mate, which he's not doing so far tonight. It was almost...
Yeah, exactly. He looks way more switched on. Oh, look at that bodywork. Stanionis having to go here, though, as well. This could be a cracking fight, this, if it goes the distance.
I pointed out in the last round, Stanionis is already visibly reacting to some of these body shots. You draw his hands down, and there's a reaction there. Look, if I'm going to be critical of Boots from what we've seen so far, is a lot of arm punches. He doesn't look like he's fully letting his hands go, if that makes sense. And yes, he's winning the fight, but let's see you fully let your hands go and see that power.
Yeah, I don't know if Stanionis doesn't look phased so far, even though Boots is boxing well. He looks good right hand by Stanionis.
Oh, slip, knockdown, slip.
Yeah, no, Boots on the floor, but yeah, just a slip.
After what we saw from referees in the Manchester card last weekend,
Yeah.
He's going to go for a second.
Yeah, judges will be given a 10-8 for it.
To be fair, David Fields is a very good referee, so you can rely on him to have control of a fight. Cue him dropping a howler now, but
yeah. Boots really sitting down on some of these shots.
The way Stanionis squats as he's coming forward is just at the perfect height for these hooks, isn't it?
Yeah.
Boots can just throw these hooks as Stanionis is squatting down to come in with his head low. It's working inside the clinch though there, Stanionis. Boots sort of relaxed, didn't he? And Stanionis got a couple of body shots in. Oh, and a left hand there from Stanionis. Just a few reminders there for Boots. If he switches off, this is a very live dog in there with him. He's not just going to take
it.
Yeah,
he's tough as nails, Stanionis, and he'll be there all night.
Oh, both trading hooks there.
Yeah. Or Boots backing Stanionis up again. The body work's nice, as you said before, Liam. The body work of Jaron Ennis is really good. Stanionis is here to fight, though.
Yeah, this has been another good round, hasn't it?
Yeah, Boots looking sharp, really sharp. You can tell he's on the balls of his feet.
Not sitting down in between rounds either, which is always a sign of the fighter that's feeling confident.
He's ready to go.
3-0 Boots.
Like 3-0, yeah. Look, it's one of them. Like it probably is 3-0, but it's Stanionis is competitive as well.
Oh yeah, it's not a one-sided beatdown 3-0. It's a competitive. And again, as they showed a ramrod jab that Stanionis is managing to land. It's when Boots is back against the ropes. That's where Stanionis is having his best moments, isn't it? When he can't move and when he hasn't got the unpredictable angle to come in on, that's where when Stanionis is having moments, but Boots' movement is just too slick so far for me. That's the big thing. Stanionis hasn't figured out the jigsaw.
Yeah, not yet anyway, and we're already into the fourth. The rounds are flying by.
Sign of a good fight.
Absolutely. Can Stanionis stop the flow a little bit? It's a great start for Boots. Chris Mannix got it the same way. I think the judges probably have too.
Stanionis scorecard.
Stanionis needs to get something going. He's willing to exchange for Boots, which is, possibly a good sign for Boots, but also a sign of no fear at all from Stanionis.
I think Stanionis is realising that if he's going to get himself into this fight at this point, he needs to stun Boots, get even if a flash knockdown, get him wobbled or something, because Boots is getting into a rhythm here. Yes, they're both opening up, but Boots is far and away the more comfortable fighter.
Yeah, the difference in speed is light years. Look at Boots, he's showboating now.
Yeah. Speed kills, speed over timing all day long is what they say, and Boots has the timing to match the speed, but
just not sure Stanionis has like that big one shot that can change things either.
No, he doesn't.
Boots has got to watch himself though. It's too early to be showboating.
It is, but at the same time, we said we wanted to see the character of Boots coming back out, didn't we?
Yeah.
It's good to see. But what we don't now want is for him to switch off now for the next 5 or 6 rounds. We want to see him hammer home the advantage he's got.
Yeah, there's no point coasting, man. If there's an opportunity there, go and take it.
Great defense again from Boots.
Oh, that's beautiful. That was a really nice catch counter. He's looking really good here, Boots.
Beg him to stop with these arm punches and there we go. Now he's throwing a hook properly. These pitter-patter punches. I get why you do it, but at the same time, come on.
Stanionis just can't get near him.
Yeah, and Boots is enjoying himself in Atlantic City. Perhaps all he needed was to be out of Philly. Perhaps he was feeling the pressure too much being at home.
Mm-hmm. That's what Hearn said. That's why they've done it in Atlantic City. They wanted to get him a change of scenery.
Yeah, I'm sure. But again, the evidence here so far is that
The dancing his way back to the corner, Liam.
Yeah, that's the most conclusive round for me so far. That was Boots starting to not move through the gears, but
yeah, he's looking good, isn't he? There's no two ways about it. Stanionis is 4 rounds down here, and he needs to get something going ASAP if he's got visions of being unified world champ. Bit of marking up on the face now, Stanionis too.
if you're in that corner, what can you tell Stanionis? Because it's not as if he's not trying to implement his game plan. He's just... is it too early to say at this point he's a level below Boots? I don't think it is what we've seen.
Yeah.
This is what the difference is between being at the top end of a division and being a world champion, if that makes sense.
Uh-huh.
And as I said when we were previewing this fight, I believe Boots would have been a world champion even with Crawford, Spence, Ortiz, etc. at 147, whereas Stanionis is another one like where I put Norman Jr. that is a champion because those fighters have moved on, if that makes sense.
Uh-huh. Yeah, definitely. Round 5 underway then.
As much as I enjoyed the show in the last round, I'd like to see Boots move through the gears here. We don't need to see,
Yeah, there's been no visible. He hasn't hurt Stanionis yet or anything really. He's just outboxing him.
We're not saying that a stoppage is there, but at least force the issue. Oh, okay. It's got a UFC on my phone.
Yeah. I'm unsure right now. I'm leaning towards to be honest, but yeah, it's going to be close, I think.
I'll save my opinion for when we talk about it.
Yeah, I think with Andy Lee and all the rest of it, I think he should have enough. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. What do you think, Ryan?
I think Liam. Just my one thing I will say. I think Liam Cameron is milked his sob story just one time too many this time around. If that makes sense. We all get it, hard done by. There's more to it than meets the eye, but I think he's played that violin one too many times and perhaps hasn't been as locked in on training as he should have been, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Ben's been locked away. We haven't heard or seen of Ben for weeks, arguably since that video of him in the airport
No.
October. But that's a good sign. Whereas Liam Cameron's been all over social media, all over Sky Sports, all over everything, hasn't he? This 5th round has possibly been the most pedestrian of the fight. Stanionis trying to come back into it, but Boots' defensive movement is just beautiful. I'm really enjoying watching this as he now picks off Stanionis with 3-4 hooks in a row, and again, uppercuts to head and body. Stanionis bleeding from the nose. David Field starting to have a look here because Stanionis is sagging around the ring.
Yeah, Stanionis is trying to fight back with all his all he's
bleeding
got.
from the top of the head as well. Sorry, mate, bleeding from his hairline as well. Stanionis, he's starting to become marked up and blooded.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me, Ryan. All I'm buzzing for it, to be fair. It's going to be a great fight weeks. A lot of going on with all this contract stuff as well. So it's going to be really interesting. But yeah, this is a clinic from Jaron Ennis so far. I anticipated it would be a lot closer than this.
And I'm glad to see it, because what I hoped I'd see from him is what he's doing. And I said it, if people can go back, even though I said I thought it would be close, I did say I hoped he would produce this type of performance. Yeah, there is some urgency in that Stanionis corner now. They are really working on him.
Yeah, well, he's not in the fight. He's not a one-punch knockout guy either. So
no, it's not.
It's one of those that, do you envisage him getting back in the fight, or is he just going to keep getting beat up? There's no point in. We're not at a point where he needs to be pulled out yet, I don't think. But if it carries on like this for another 2-3 rounds, then I think so. Could be looking at that.
But again, as they've just shown, the right hand he landed at the start of the round, he's having his moments. I'll be 2 seconds, mate. But yeah, he's still having moments. Yeah. He's getting pieced up.
Right, then round 6. Stanionis got to get something going soon. Too easy for Boots.
Paying attention to the Stanionis corner in between rounds there, he was nodding his head. He looked like he was getting asked questions about how does he feel, does he want to continue? And he was sort of saying, yes, I feel okay, I guess would have been what he's trying to say. But that's a corner that are already looking at their fighter and wondering what he's got left to, not what he's got left to give, but how much more do they want to see him take.
He's landing nothing meaningful really on Boots. He's too slow, or Boots is too quick, should I say?
But let's not hang the bunting out for Boots just yet. But this is him reminding everyone why he was so highly touted on his way up.
Oh yeah. This is a great performance so far. The only thing that can rubber stamp it is obviously getting the finish.
I said before this started, I'd be happy to, it would surprise me to see him get a finish. Now I want to see the finish just from the way this fight's gone.
Yeah.
See the finish now.
Stanionis isn't going to go down or give up or anything like that, so it'd have to be a ref stoppage or a corner stoppage. I'm not so sure.
I personally think if Stanionis is going down, it's going to be from one of these body shots. Or lovely uppercut piercing through the middle of the guards. Stanionis' nose is definitely broken, and it's protruding claret. Started to go from protruding over a different word. Oh, and he's down. That was 4 or 5 uppercuts in a row there that Boots managed to land.
Tremendous performances from Jaron Ennis. The end could be near. Stanionis facing an absolute mess. 15 seconds to survive in the 6th. Maybe the corner will have a look.
Jaron Ennis showboating here as the clapper goes. Ooh, Stanionis nearly down again right at the end of the round there. And if it wasn't 10 past 4 and people were asleep in his house, I'd be standing up and applauding. This is
Yeah, great performances from Jaron Ennis. Very, very impressive.
Brian Norman and old Barrios are probably making up their excuses for not wanting to.
Yeah. Look, he's making us stand up and reminding us who he is. Stanionis' corner looks very much like they're on the way to pulling him out to me, Liam.
Yes, mate. Watch these uppercuts. So he started with the body work, and then it's 3 or 4. Oh, they're not. They've pulled him out. It's done.
Yeah. I saw him giving him a hug. I think they've seen enough.
Jaron Ennis is the WBA, IBF, and Ring Magazine 147 champion.
That was performance. Impressive. Yeah. And that was a good stoppage from the Stanionis corner for me. Very good. He wasn't in that fight from the start. I'll hold my hands up, got that one wrong.
Jaron Ennis, welcome back. And that's not an exaggeration either, because this is him showing what he's about.
Boots unified champion. Then, well, look, the whole thing of him being dead at the weight that he looked, to be fair, in the week, I think Norman and Barrios fights have got to be there now, mate. I think.
Well, I think he'll go down the Barrios route. Norman completely screwed him over, didn't he? And it's basically,
yeah.
I
think, definitely humble up. That was a fantastic performance from Boots. Can't say anything other than that, to be honest. He was great. Yeah, look, I think the Norman fight, there's more narrative behind it, Liam, is the only thing I would say. So, maybe it would sell a little better.
Oh yeah, there's narrative, but as they're showing the pull out now. It's compassionate. It was only going one way.
Yeah, look, it was the right call as well.
He's shaking his head. Look, Stanionis is shaking his head as his corner man's talking to him, almost as if saying he doesn't feel like he's got anything left.
Yeah, I think it was a tremendous call from the corner. Look, Stanionis is not known as a one-punch knockout artist. It has to be said either. So, it's not like he could just change the fight in one moment. He just wasn't landing anything. Boots was too quick for him. He's just a better boxer than him. And he showed every bit of why the hype is what it is about him tonight. Got me back on the train anyway.
Well, look, I've been, even before doing this with you boys, I've been massive on Boots and always been a really big fan of him, and always thought when him and Conor Benn were on this so-called collision course, he would absolutely walk through Conor Benn. Before, obviously, everything that happened with Conor Benn and his supposed failed drugs tests, etc., etc. So I've been high on Boots for a long time. And yes, like you, I wanted this fight to be close. Thought this fight would be close, but did caveat it during the week by saying, I hope and wouldn't be surprised if he puts on a performance like he just has.
Yeah, definitely. While Boots is finishing up, mate, I guess we'll go over to Miami, shall we? And get cracking on UFC 314. Thanks to everyone who joined us for the Ennis Stanionis Watchalong. We're taking ourselves over to UFC 314 in Miami. Now there's 3 fights left to go, the big 3. If anyone's into their UFC, feel free to come and join us on another stream very, very shortly. And have a good one, everybody. Cheers, Liam.
Thank you very much, everybody.